But now all of a sudden FaZe, as well as its 2 wins, is on 64 frags. Like, they have at least put themselves, if someone else gets a win, they're within a stone's throw of being able to tally it up and beat them out on the frag side of it. I'm looking actually where they've gone for the rotation side. It's, I suppose, flight path, you have to take it into consideration where it came from. We're talking all the way southwest. It's a #1 spot, and it's job done. You've booked your ticket. Potentially job done for BSD, unless he can just get down the defilade, which he does. Clib. That's interesting. On rotation, caught out the back of the vehicle.
Now that's a huge problem.
A little bit of range on that as well. That is... Oh, no! A second... Aim low. From the side, so in transition, Liquid. We're 5 minutes in, and they're on the verge of losing a 3rd player.
They've come in real loosey-goosey to this, and there's a lot of teams here. I was going to say it. You look around Hospital, you've got 5-6 teams already pretty established. They came in right through the fields, maybe thinking they had some time with the sub-6-minute marker, but they've got punished for this, and they're one of the only teams who can truly close this gap. Yet they're screwed. They have nowhere to go. They've come in under the assumption they had way more time on this, I feel, and they've been pushed out. mxey's basically, not necessarily a one-shot, depends what hits him, but he's pretty low on HP, so he's got to be super careful. Now he's split from Ibi too. This is bad times for Liquid with such an opportunity at hand. They've been punished thoroughly, and it looks like the rest of Gear Up are actually going to congregate together, bring them back to to the similar building, make sure they're safe and sound.
Rotates quicker than them, and they're one of the first teams to go down. Still plenty of time though until this closes in. You've got a good amount of breathing room once you get in this circle. No one's directly avoiding it. mxey onto Jembty. DA losing a player. That's another team that we were looking onwards and saying, okay, when's it going to come through? When's it going to happen?
I've got to say, though, mxey's in a bit of trouble. If DA realize it is just him, which I think with Vard's vision, they might do. mxey doing his best Fuzzface impression of, I couldn't get better gear, so I am stuck like this. He's in a bit of trouble here. DA, they may not push this, but if he gets knocked, there's no help on the way. He will be very much alone. So mxey just needs to try and bolster this up. You can see PiXeL starting to get a little interested in this. They are somewhat sharing this area. Vard across the way, and then on the back lines, you can see it. Xiong there just going to be keeping an eye on it. Mellman bringing out the unorthodox. Love to see it. I'm sure he has actual weaponry, but for now it's quite funny. Outside that, though, we wait with bated breath on the circle. Okay, well read by most of the teams.
Ultimately ends back down from ENCE. No, we don't want nothing to do with this. Vanir probably don't want to bite off more than they can chew. It's a bit sketchy to be doing this. They were looking onwards at that hospital side, but it's already got a team in the windows lingering and lurking, so they'll have to take the medical center outside and hope for the best, honestly. Look at that. Even the doorway, Lauren, and Yort's already been tagged up. That just goes to show, like, that place is not safe. There is enemies encompassing every single angle of South Georgia. It's a mess.
It's so compressed over there, and if it does just, let's say, kind of shift super far south or east, it's maybe not the next circle that gets them, it's the one after, right? This is when, once again, we'll get to that 16 minutes, and everything's in pieces. We have to wait with a little bit of patience being shown here, because the teams are trying to find the safest way forward. Now, SMB have to find their route. I don't know how they're going to find approach on the circle. Question mark are fine. They can slowly work in from the south side. They might get a little bit of a clash with Virtus.pro, but beyond that, they should be somewhat okay. I still feel like VP can make something out of this game, but they've been having a hard time. As much as, yes, they are in 5th, this is a quieter performance for their caliber, I think, is a fair assumption, or a fair assessment. Fuzzface, the king of the unorthodox, bringing out the
FaZe Clan's position. QM will have to come forward. FaZe now will have to go toe-to-toe versus 2 players of Na'Vi in order to stabilize and claim the top side of the hill. The code, currently middle of the screen, get it quickly because all this is about to go down. QM on the pull-up, the rest of them will probably turn up to the party in all but a second. Spyrro, first one to fall, fade in the distance from the hillside, has landed absolute belter. mxey also down. Schofield does the damage. He's confirmed out of it. Vard's there to solidify it. All of VP are now starting to fall. 3 of them down, 1 of them left standing.
And BatulinS isn't with this pack. VP, they're having a rough game. It looks like this has just not been their day. And hey, it feels weird to give them just this much, not necessarily freedom, but I feel like they can bounce back. We've seen what can happen when you have a bad couple of games. You know, Na'Vi were completely absent the first time we saw them, but, you know, for the last couple of games, they have been turning heads. However, now they've got to deal with FaZe, which actually is a big problem. FaZe are probably feeling quite confident. They have to move forward as well, so there is a fire burning underneath them. Alya tucked in towards the lower side of the rocks, going to try and play the angle as best he can. Hard to clear from on top, so you'd have to open yourself up towards that southern side to have some visibility. FaZe opting to go on the northern side of the ridge, and that's going to be Mellman's side. So nade in hand, going to post that through. Does it find it? No. Ticked a little too long. They're not quite that close yet.
I do like the 2-2 commitment from FaZe. It shows confidence in their partners and how they're buddying up to try and sweep and clears this. They're not just going in half-handedly and, oh, maybe I spoke too wrong. Maybe that was a little bit too far, too fast. And unfortunately, Fex is out in the open. He might even get solidified. The damage has been done from elsewhere while the kills come through from Na'Vi. Going up and over the stones was just curse of the caster, if I've ever seen it. I thought they were going to try and tackle this a little bit lower down, but you can see that they can't take that side angle. If they do, teams downwind of them will cause them grief. That's a good nade. Not quite the knock that he was looking for. You don't have to go for the full commitment yet, but certainly for FaZe, they want this over and done with as soon as possible. Does step up and does step back down. The answer response is there with Aitzy falling. Gustav again, stepping up to the challenge. He will have to heal, though, because there is an abundance of damage. The time is not with him. No time to heal, no time to rest whatsoever. Danger from the side and Fussface. Here we go, on your own. The solo man, but death comes from above. And the curse continues from 1st to 16th. FaZe go bowing out on top of the hill.
Dude, like, if there's a statistician out there, right, someone who's willing to do this, how often do we see this happen? Because it does feel so scripted sometimes. But the circle has updated and it's actually honing in towards hospital. Now, I'll take a finish there any day. I love a hospital ending. That's great fun. North George, pretty rife still. DA, ENCE, BBL just on the cusp. Vanir, they were in that kind of lower side of hospital, so still very playable. Exhalation, just fine. Ibi looks pretty crashable right there, so he's going to have to do some real hard work if he wants to try and stay alive. This is mxey trying to join him. Oh, Schofield, BA.
Please.
Oh, he led that shot so well.
That's good. That's real good. Interesting note as well to kind of take stock off here. FaZe at the top of the table gone. Liquid and Na'Vi, 2nd and 3rd respectively, down to 1. It's not a problem. That's easy fixable.
So good.
Down to 1 player.
Be able to get rid.
So the top 3, one of them's already gone, and the other 2 are in a very, very weakened position. Like, this is kind of a crazy state of affairs, really, when we've got one more game after it.
Certainly is. There goes BatulinS too, so VP are out. We have 3 of the top 5 alive. Liquid down to 1 player. BatulinS still got fate somehow with the nade. I really don't know how he's managed that. So it goes down to TM. To get a win, to jump up, that would put them, I mean, 2nd place, sure, but still pretty far ahead. Daboom gonna find fate. He's having a rough day, isn't he? And old Ibby. Ibby's not liking this. He didn't want people over at the house. He's not tidied up. There's stuff all over the floor. He's not feeling great either. Oh, it's terrible. The bathroom doors come off.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's trying to do some home improvements. Oh, he's still alive, barely. This is just... Oh, it's not looking great, is it? Go on, Ibby. What can you do for us here? What can you get done? He hasn't even unboxed half his stuff yet. Look at it. He's only got the lampshade out. Oh, so embarrassing.
Maybe that's all you need.
I mean, he hasn't even put the spare beds down. They're all on the walls, Rich.
Well, that's because I've had 2 flipping nades through the window. I don't think I have any beds in situation. I've had a nade through my window. Oh, that's a good amount of damage, Dante. BTM solidifies it. He's pulling up on it as a doozy. Rupture's there, actually solidified from the distance on the backside. Oh, that's a barrel roll and a half. Just goes flying in head first. No holds barred. While the nades are banked off the side of it, Daboom has to be careful. His nade has followed up, and a doozy is broken and battered. And that's a big nade. Damage is done, but QM will drop down. Ibby Still defending his house. He's just bought this. That's why all the stuff's there. It's a new home, Lauren.
Oh, it's a fixer-upper, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, the property's great. Right near the hospital. You know, safety is important. Lovely ocean views not far away. It's like those, do you remember those like travel shows? Like, and here we have Ibiza, professional video game player looking for his holiday home in Erangel. He's got a budget of about 400 million, so looking to try and do what he can with that. But yeah, no, it's fantastic times for him. He's just living in the pocket of Galactus the entire time. BBL on the push. There he goes. Ibby's out. He's off. He's back on the plane. Can't do anything about it. No holiday home. Qwizzy actually going to get himself some high ground now. BBL going to lose a little bit of that safety here. This is actually an issue. Yeah, look at it. Smash instantly under so much pressure.
He's jiggling. I know they've got to be too careful with this one. I'm surprised it didn't connect, but he just catches him on the side of the tree. Marco's got a different angle of approach here. They can back build off of it, but you can't overstep the boundaries because you know you are being overheld by this circle up against the time. The blue is moving, so you should be too, and this is where it gets much more difficult. Na'Vi in the driving seat. TM, time to try and run the gauntlet. If you can get an angle of approach of that building, it might not be a bad one to crash, and they found the perfect angle while it is exposed from behind. If they quit, no, I tell a lie. Hanging outside of the top window, plenty of damage done. Any nades, not whatsoever, but through the door they do go, so they'll be downstairs. Aimless push forward. That has to be level 3.
Oh, the
nade! It went all the way through. It was perfect. They had no idea because of the massacre that was going down. The audible cue was not there. Through the smoke come the flashbangs, and Na'Vi will continue to push. Marco found there's one more standing just around the corner, Metralius. How much grief, how much respite can you give towards the side of Na'Vi? There's the first. See if he can turn 2 here. No, he cannot. That will slow down their approach for all but a moment. Then the lost outside.
Oh, great spray.
Beautiful spray through the window. Now they can push in and try and make something happen inside.
Yeah. And you can see fights just breaking out everywhere right now. Everyone trying to get in on it. TM have gone down. It was a really good initial pull-up, but that nade just really caused some disaster. And Death from Above, Rupture just takes down the entirety of Hall of Game, basically. That was Gear Up just dominating over on that western side. Now we have to look at who's remaining here, because this is an interesting lobby. Na'Vi still have 4 standing. They got the res. They're out to the east. They are going to be living in the shadow of Heroic just slightly, but this could be a good game for them. Look at the amount of kills. 7 on the board already. That's not bad. This is jumping distance. This could be a huge moment for Na'Vi. They're the ones that basically denied FaZe, keep in mind, from building beyond this game. Liquid didn't get much of a game going either, so if there's any opportunity, it is this one for Na'Vi. The position they're in is not perfect. It is very difficult. Galactus, good central position. DA still quietly waiting in the background. Heroic, just living that residency over and towards the hospital. Only 2 kills, though. I'm sure they've been putting out damage, but hard to get those knocks from there.
No one else what really they can do. They will have to run the wall.
Oh, what does Na'Vi do with this?
Galacticos might be able to... I'm trying to think of, in my mind, like... If you can see that ridgeline, if they somehow pull it up to the side, I don't believe they can. Oh, because the doll actually clipped his arm, bless him. You might, from the top windows on the thing, you might be able to just get them on the cross. You can already see damage has been done, but that's from all the way across on DA? That's kind of wild. Kind of wild, but Qwizzy's up to the challenge to maybe try and silence Qwizzy and the rest of them. The wall will be built, and this has to be quick, Lauren. They cannot, absolutely cannot, let Heroic get in place. And if you look, they're doing 2 different approaches. I don't know if that's to try and distract from one side, or maybe give them more of an angle of approach, but for now, it's working.
Nade looks good, and actually there's now a couple more players. That might be a little too short, actually. I don't know if that's going to bounce quite far enough. It does damage, but it doesn't get a kill. Qwizzy's going to move up and get himself straight on in there. There's the follow-up nade, and there's the problems. Qwizzy's gone down. It's all on alya. Can he somehow do anything about this? Na'Vi are desperate to keep this as an option this game. This could be to get some kills, maybe push up to a viable place to jump FaZe in this. But alya's options are looking dire. ENCE on the move up as well. This is fighting for outside of the circle. Exhalation on the move, and this is going to be just taking each other down. Good little trade out so far, taking down Rustanmar. No flush to be seen. Nade in hand. Vard needs this. Looks on the lean. That could be good. Did he clip the fence? It might have done. Don't know if he got that quite on through. Now the molly's an issue. He can't really re-peek this. He's locked in there for now. And Na'Vi have been eliminated.
That's massive. That only leaves Vanir in exhalation. Most of the lobby in with a chance of getting one on the board and potentially doing the unthinkable and maybe the back-to-back. It's there. There's a small window of opportunity, and while it is small, we'll take everything we can get in this game. Let's take a look at the top two teams, Vanir and Exhalation. Exhalation just... it's fragile. It's very, very fragile. Galacticos don't have to move, but how many smokes do they have left? Page straight onto Flamey also. They're pushing the edge of the small little wall side. They're trying to evacuate the medical center, but it's probably not going to work. Heroic want to lay them to rest. This would be phenomenal. I said earlier on, I really believe in Heroic as a team, but they are momentum-based. They've just taken down Na'Vi. Beamy, 3 versus 1, single-handedly. If they can get some more frags on the board, if they can get some placement, hell, even if they can get the win, they possibly could do 2 back-to-back, but they've been lacking in kills. That's the downside to Heroic. We've not seen the normal Heroic of last weekend or previous iterations.
Can they do? I mean, a back-to-back would do it. Let's put them into the running of it. For now, Galacticos still hold the only compound in here. This now puts problems for Heroic, for Vanir, for DA. There is not much on that northern side, and they know it. Yellow's been knocked. Not sure how much time he has to get this res. He would have a moment to do it. Heroic are looking currently further afield, maybe getting themselves set up to receive Vanir if they did get the res and then move forward, and maybe even considering DA, because they've got to have taken stock here. They had great high ground to work with in the hospital for so long as well, so they really should be aware. And I see the 3 prone snakes in the grass, in formation, prepared for what comes around the corner. 10 seconds until the move has to come in. T-Bone and Page will be the ones to receive probably a great deal of a fight. They've got Yellow and Short on one side, and then 3 players from DA on the other.
What do you do, Lauren? I mean, look at the circle compared to that. The road, it's on the ridge. The building that's held down by Galacticos basically holds back the entire lobby. I think that the vehicle play is the only way to really make something happen. He's going to get run over if he's not careful. Takes down 2. If he can stop that. Oh, it's on fire. That's a real shame. If that wouldn't have gone down, then maybe they could have used that to try and attack Galacticos' position.
DA.
Instead, they now have to go toe-to-toe with DA. Because of this circle, they all just can't run willy-nilly across the road. That ultimately cost them the life and cost them the game. They have to take this fight. Have they kept track of them, though? That's the question. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Page is there to strike first.
10 kills so far for Heroic. They are putting in a heroic performance. They could do with that flush, though. They need all the points they can get, and Lyron's just grabbed one. That's Vard now gone from them. Beamy just going to unleash as best he can. T-Bone by his side. They need to get this done fast so they can focus on the next target at hand. There it is. Another member of DA gone. Heroic pushing that 10 kills further and further. They need these flushes. They need these points if they want to try and get into even the conversation at this point. And PiXeL just trying to live to fight another day. And here is Heroic going to go for the mad send. The best they can is just work on further forward. Down we go, right into the eyes of PiXeL. How much damage can you do? Nothing. Beamy. Perfect. Big connection, 3'd up, geared up. And on the other side, Exhalation would have heard this.
This is so good. This is so, so good. To cross the road like that, we said the only way to do it is in a vehicle. Lyron and Thunderloss, now they've lost the element of being able to hold them at that roadside. The building has been taken away from them. The question is, does Heroic read Exhalation over the hillside? They are primed, laying down. They'll have to peek it simultaneously. They can't not take a trade on this. There's 2 of them there. They take the trade, they remove them from play. Exhalation can't move because Thunderloss holds them dead to rights. But the more that they argue against Galacticos, the less they know about Exhalation. Like, they're in a dip for now. They don't have to do anything. Look at Ono's position. Look where he's moved into. If they were to move the car to that rock and try and use it as a stepping stone, no pun intended, he just reveals himself from around the corner and instantly just goes into the vehicle. Like, this is so hard. So hard for Heroic to do anything.
Does this reveal the position? A couple of good tags. Didn't quite get the kill they needed. Now, when whether or not they know there's a second player there, they'll still know that Lyran's somewhere around. But now Heroic need to crest this hillside. They have to move over, and they have zero clue the Exhalation are waiting just tucked in down below. Looking, but there's no confirmation of it. It's just a little bit of a divot. It's hard to see just out of the periphery of what Cure could note. And you can see it nade in hand. As soon as that gets sent, though, that will ring the alarm bell. And that's a good tag. That now means that Exhalation are willing to give away their position because they now need to move up themselves. No one's truly taken this by the reins just yet. And oh no, Zoom's been noted, Zoom's been knocked. That's going to be Thenderlost finding that. That's going to be at least some good work. And that position from Thenderlost is such a problem to clear. He needs to play a really fine balance. You can see he's hugging that tree like his life depends on it. But now T-Bone has a fight on his hands. He knows that he's got a target in front of him and a fair fight that he can take. 8 smokes still remain, but the nades with Page and Lyran's gone down. Galacticos are in trouble now. You can see that Thenderlost can't help that angle, actually. He's not able to see the side the Heroic are going to push around on. Honest gone for looking like he wants to try and get that res potentially. Beamy doesn't want to allow that, and now he's going to take that. And now there's 2 single players remaining, Thenderlost being one, and BTM the other.
They should be able to seal this one. 4 versus 1 will start to ensure he's up against the blue. There's nothing he can do. Heroic have done it. And with 15 frags on